All right, guys. So unless you've been living under a rock, you are well aware that Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point USA, was assassinated yesterday in Utah. And just by the way, I'm not going to be like playing the video that shows all the gore and all that. It's pretty hard to watch, just like the one in Charlotte was. Once you see the full video. But first, let's just start off with paying a little tribute to Charlie Kirk. Just he really was special, and you got to remember, he was 31. At that, I mean, he got famous in his 20s. At that age, you have so much more potential, so much more developing that you're going to do. And he was already so talented at such a young age. Who knows what kind of person he would have eventually grown into, because you do grow into a different person. But I've got plenty to get into here, so let's get started with a little Charlie Kirk tribute here. It says here, this is by far my favorite video of Charlie Kirk, and it should be required for everyone in America to see. Hopefully the music in this doesn't get this knocked off YouTube, but I'm just going to play it anyway. It'll just be a Rumble video and BitChute video if YouTube has a problem with this. So here we go.
Our country was founded on common law because the Declaration only refers to God 4 times, and the Constitution doesn't refer to God at all, and it only articulates the structure of government.
So first of all, remember that we were a collection of states and colonies, and you need to read the state constitutions before anything else. 13 out of 13 required a declaration of faith. In almost every single one of the original state constitutions, they had, I profess Lord and Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Secondly, 55 out of 56 of the original signers of the Declaration were Bible-believing, church-attending Christians. You asked about common law. Well, let's go to 3 principles of common law: presumption of innocence, due process, and jury of your peers. All 3 are biblical principles. So, and all wrapped into the ultimate biblical principle that you shall not favor justice if you are rich or poor, which is in Leviticus 19, which is the idea of blind justice, which is incorporated also in the New Testament ideal. Neither slave nor Greek nor Jew, you are all one in Jesus Christ, which you get the idea of human equality. These are all biblical ideas, but more importantly than that, they say that God was only mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. Well, that's a big deal. John Adams famously said the Constitution was only written for a moral and religious people. It was wholly inadequate for the people of any other. The body politic of America was so Christian that our form and structure of government was built for the people that believed in Christ our Lord. One of the reasons we're living through a constitutional crisis is that we no longer have a Christian nation, but we have a Christian form of government, and they're incompatible. So you cannot have liberty if you do not have a Christian population.
And that is the man who's no longer with us, and in my opinion, it's a pretty great loss. So let me refresh this here just to make sure. I'm pretty sure Kash Patel would post it immediately if they had caught the shooter, which I'm quite sure that they haven't. So let me see here. On the 24th anniversary, 24 hours ago, the world changed when terrorists brutally attacked the peace and security of America. It's fundamentally... the FBI is working alongside our local and state law enforcement partners. And yep, okay. So he initially posted that they had caught the shooter, and then he had to retract that and say that they did not catch the shooter. And that's right here. So the shooter is still at large. And so next thing here, we've got a little bit of drone footage here of everything for a little bit of perspective, really good perspective. So let's check this out. That's where Charlie Kirk was sitting. Charlie's tent. Forward here. Oh, there we go. Okay, alleged shooter location. and there's the area where the shooter was, direction the shooter ran. So I'm going to stop that one right there and move on to the next one here. So from someone named Johnny Midnight, here is the shooter running after making the shot to kill Charlie Kirk. He will not rest till this coward is brought to justice. So let's have a look here. So there's the shooter right there, and there he is, running away. And that's all we need to see of that one. Let's move on. It's this person here says, I've reviewed multiple videos of the shooter from various angles. The timing was chillingly precise. The shot fired as Charlie Kirk discussed gun violence. Yeah, he was discussing gun violence when it happened. And the guy has a theory. The placement of the shot was unusual. You can finish reading that, pause the video and finish reading that if you want. But his theory is that there's an emerging theory that it might have been kind of a professional hit. But let's get into some other stuff here. No sooner did it happen than people began saying, look, all the grifters immediately show up and they go, look, new video shows Charlie Kirk's real shooter fleeing the scene after the attack. And let me back this up here. Well, anyway, while I've got this on video here, look here. You can see here that it says grand, etc. It says grand something something, and it's readers added context, and it says this video shows the parking lot of the Grand Sierra Resort, which is located in Reno, Nevada. And then sure enough, you go and oh, look at that. It's exactly the same thing. And as we pan over here, oh, what is that? Grand Casino Resort. It says Grand right there. And this right here are the stairs right over here. They're the stairs. And then there's what this covered area looks like. And that's exactly what you're about to see right here. So let me just back this up. The grifter. I went through this with Las Vegas, and other stuff, Charlottesville as well. The grifters immediately show up and just start faking stuff. It's insanity. So here we go. But video shows Charlie Kirk's real shooter escaping. Oh, there's one person running.
There he is, right there. That guy. He's the guy.
And another person running. It's Reno, Nevada. You can tell it's the same place. It's right here. Look, Reno, Nevada. Okay. It's just these people always do this.
I've been to that Gaza border.
Let me gotta reload that. Some kind of problem happens. I'm not sure what it is, and all of a sudden I don't have control of it. So this one, as soon as it reloads, is from David Icke, and it's actually like sometimes I see David Icke stuff and I kind of roll my eyes, but this one's actually not a bad point. The black and white mind of Alex Jones, he's responding to what Alex Jones said here. And he says, the black and white mind of Alex Jones responding is exactly the way the deep state wants you to respond. It's how Trump intends to respond. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk was starting to see through the Israel BS, which was real bad news for its narrative. And so this actually kind of ties in. So we're gonna listen to this here.
I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu is basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question. The whole country is the IDF. The whole country is. Yeah. And you're trying to tell me that they're going to concerts and kibbutzes and schools and by report.
Okay. So that's the first thing he said about Israel. And then this also... actually, I might have. Let me go up here. Do this one first. So Harrison Smith came on. He works at InfoWars, if you don't know, and I'm not going to play his video here, but he's responding to what he said in this post. And in this post, this was back on, appears to be on August 14th. He says, I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. So that's why this Israel stuff is actually kind of important. And let's have a listen to this. This is another thing he had to say about Israel as well. So here we go.
And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the number one funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me. And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish.
Okay, so there was that one, and that pretty much closes out the Israel connection. I don't really have anything to add, but let's move on. More grifters immediately show up. This one is from something called the WLT report, whatever that is. And it says, why are two men behind Charlie Kirk seen making strange hand gestures seconds before the shooting? Oh, look, hand gestures. Look at what this guy's doing. And I think I've got it down here. So here's the notorious hand gestures.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great. Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Okay, that's this guy here. They're saying this is hand gestures.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Okay, and then there's this guy as well. Oh, look at the hand gestures. Look at him. He's not just like adjusting his hat and rubbing his face or something. These are code signals. Okay, so that's that. And so if you go back and take a look at this guy right here. This is, I'm almost 100% certain this is Charlie Kirk's main bodyguard, who's kind of always on him. And if you take a look right here, this was Charlie Kirk talking to someone, he said, "Can you take your hands out of your pockets?" And this one's also interesting. Says Charlie Kirk at an event just 2 weeks ago, "Can you take your hands out of your pockets?" Charlie always knew there was a risk, but knew the importance of leading our American youth. And so take a good look at this guy right here. It's the same dude that's this guy right here. I mean, he's even dressed the same. It's the same guy. You can tell. So let's have a look here.
I'm sorry?
What is Western to him?
Well, Israel embraces Western civilizational values. Just you take your hands out of your pocket.
yeah,
Sorry,
fair enough,
you
yeah.
never know what people have.
Sorry, yeah.
Israel embraces Western values far better than its neighbors.
So yeah, you can tell it's the exact same dude right there. That I'm guessing that's his personal bodyguard, and that explains him being there. It's his bodyguard. So Charlie Kirk's assassin appears to be of college age. This one's really fast.
Appears to be of college age.
Yeah, that's just them reporting he appears to be of college age. And then there are some updates. So I hate to go to CNN, but here's what we know. A manhunt is underway, obviously, for the shooter who killed Charlie Kirk, a prominent conservative political activist and supporter of President Donald Trump, yesterday at an event at Utah Valley University State. So officials believe they have recovered the firearm they used to shoot Kirk from a nearby roof. The gunman is male and appears to be of college age, according to investors. The deadly attack has been condemned by both sides of the aisle, et cetera, et cetera. And then here we have Nick Sordor reports breaking the Charlie Kirk shooter's ammunition found inside the bolt-action rifle had transgender and Antifa engravings. Sources confirmed to both Wall Street Journal and Steven Crowder, "We need to get serious about transgender violence now. The asylums must reopen," he says. And sure enough, I'll go down to the Wall Street Journal first. You can only see the beginning of it, but it says investigators, ammunition in Kirk shooting engraved with transgender antifascist ideology. Sources, investigators found ammunition engraved with expressions of transgender and anti-fascist ideology inside the rifle that authorities believe was used in the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. I guess they mean the shell casing, because they said it was a bolt-action rifle. The older model 30 caliber hunting rifle was discovered in the woods near the scene. This also, like, to me, this just screams like a bunch of psyop, false flag stuff all over it too. It takes it into the weird place. But here we have. What's the Charlie Kirk shooter movements revealed high-powered rifle recovered. What we know so far, Charlie Kirk's killer remains at large, but a high-powered bolt-action rifle. So there was still a shell casing in the bolt-action. Bolt-action rifle was recovered in a nearby shell casing with anti-fascist and transgender writing on it. Nearby wooded area, the FBI said during a Thursday morning press conference. Law enforcement has shared few details about the killing of the 31. Ammunition inside the rifle was engraved with messages of transgender. This wording, I mean, maybe it's just bad wording, but it really bothers me. A bolt-action rifle doesn't have ammunition inside of it like guns with magazines or just like a tube magazine or something, because it's bolt action. I mean, it is possible, for it to have a magazine and still be a bolt. The Garand was like that, and some other ones. But, a lot of times, if it's a hunting rifle, it's just load one. It's just kind of, maybe there was ammunition still in there. It's just very, very oddly worded to me. So I believe, yep, that concludes this one. That's all I've got for today. All right, so once again, very sad the loss of Charlie Kirk. When it's assassination like this, it's not good for the country. I think the United States, as a result of this, is probably a lot closer to boiling over and having some much more serious problems emerge. But that's where we are, and I hope people just keep level heads and handle it like adults rather than flying off the handle and getting really immature and impulsive about it. So I'll leave it at that. If you like this sort of thing, please like, subscribe, and share. And thanks for watching. Base Gardening out.